Hey good people, and welcome back to another video with DIYs by Carolina. I hope you guys are doing well and having an amazing day. So y'all, I am so super stoked about today's video. Today's video is actually sponsored by DOMI. DOMI sent me out this amazing sunroom. Guys, I am so super excited. I cannot wait to show you all. So I do want to go ahead and show you guys the space that I'm going to be adding this sunroom. And like with any DIY project, of course, y'all, I had some serious hiccups along the way, but I cannot be more grateful. I am just so super excited about how everything turned out. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in and get started. So this is where I plan to add the sunroom. This is my deck area. Y'all, the deck has seen better days. Excuse the mess. But anyway, this is where I want to put it. I want to put it right in front of the sliding glass door. So then that way I'm able to walk out of the house into the sunroom. So that is the plan. And luckily my deck is large enough to where I can accommodate the sunroom as well as having extra space on the side of the deck for my table and my umbrella and my chairs. So that is the plan. Just wanted to show you guys right quickly what that area looks like. And we're going to go ahead and dive right in and get started. All right, y'all, so before we get started, I wanted to show you how the sunroom was delivered to my home. It was delivered in my driveway on a pallet. And I do want to say that this actually looks a lot heavier than what it really is. It's really not that heavy. Me and my dad basically, carried these boxes together. We just lift them and carried them in the back. So as you guys can see, I have my wonderful brother and my cousin here helping me install this amazing sunroom. So excited to have them helping me, guys. It's always such a pleasure when you can have a second set of hands or even a third set of hands. So that's always a huge plus. All right, y'all, so here I am again. We are in the process of building this sunroom. So a couple of things that we noticed immediately is the fact that my measurements were off by a little bit. So unfortunately, where this sunroom has to be flush right up against the wall of the house, you might be able to see here that it's coming up too tall where it's actually right above my gutters. So y'all, you know what we're gonna have to do, right? I'm gonna have to make it work. I'm gonna have to make it work. So this is where you have to be creative. So anyway, let me show you guys what I'm talking about. All right, y'all, so basically this part here is what's supposed to flush right up against the wall of the house. And then the bar on top should come right over the sliding glass door. But as you guys can see, this is literally the height of my gutter, which is creating an issue because I measured incorrectly. But anyway, life goes on. You have to just, figure things out. And that's just what life is all about, you guys. So we're going to go ahead and continue with the process because in our minds, guess what? We're going to make this work. So we're going to continue on as we have been installing this beautiful sunroom. Right now, we're at the part where we're kind of adding the top, the steel roof, which is absolutely gorgeous. I absolutely love it. So I have my cousin and my brother out here. We're doing this, getting it done. We're just pressing on. I mean, there's nothing else you can do. And we'll figure out the other part when it's time. All right, y'all, so it's been a few hours and I want to just kind of tell you guys a little bit about what is happening. Ran into some serious setbacks, one in particular being that my measurements were off. So I'll show you guys the solution we came up with at the end, and y'all, it just worked out beautifully. So don't worry, this all came together seamlessly. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get started with adding the side panels. My brother and my cousin, they ran out to Lowe's to go get the supplies that we need to pretty much fill in the gap between the sunroom and the house. And I will make sure to show you guys in detail exactly what they did, and you'll hear from my brother himself. So without further ado, y'all, let's get started. But before I get started with that, I wanted to kind of give you guys a view of what the space looks like on the outside. So right now, you know, it's still a work in progress. Excuse the sun. The sun is just blinding at this point. It's really, really bright out. They are calling for storms. So we're actually hunkering down and trying to get all of this done today. So we literally completed this entire project in one day, y'all. But just wanted to give you guys a quick overview of what it looks like, and I'm going to go ahead and get started with adding these panels. Also, before adding any structures like this to your property, be sure to check with your local city or county to see if any permits, HOA approvals, or building requirements apply. Regulations can vary depending on where you live, so it is always a good idea to verify everything before you begin your project. So you guys will notice in this clip that one side of the sunroom is actually sitting on a 2x6 board. The reason for that was because my deck is actually uneven. One side of the deck is a little bit higher than the other side. So to accommodate the difference and to make everything squared and even across the board, we had to add this 2x6 to one side of the sunroom. All right, y'all, so my brother's going to explain what he's doing and why he's doing it. So Johnny, can you tell us what you're doing and why you're doing this?
Okay, actually the sunroom is not able to go flush with the wall because of the roof
Okay.
and gutters. So I have to fabricate it a little bit in order to get the wall to adjust where she won't have any critters coming in.
All right, fantastic. Okay guys, so what you see right now is where my brother is actually creating a wall to enclose the sunroom up against my home. So that's the reason why you see this opening with the 2x4 that's laying right up against the wall of my home. Because again, remember, the sunroom was too tall, which meant that it could not flush evenly up against the walls of my home. So you can see them right here cutting the panel, and here's a clip showing how the panel is going to be laid in that space. All right, y'all, so you can kind of see here where the gap has been completely enclosed. And so we're in the process of just kind of wrapping everything up. This project was actually completed by the three of us in one day. So right now is close to 10 o'clock p.m., but we're still going at it. We're almost done. We're just kind of adding the last touches. And I will be sure to show you guys what everything looks like in the morning, just kind of walk you through exactly what was done, because we had to make some adjustments to the ceiling. We had to make sure that when it rains that the water did not leak in between the sunroom and my home, and I'll show you guys exactly what we did to prevent that. All right, y'all, so it is the next day. So super excited. Just want to go ahead and show you guys what everything looks like. So this is the outside of the sunroom. It looks absolutely amazing. You can see here that I still have ample space on both sides of my deck. So we're just going to go ahead and take a walk here and just kind of show you guys how everything looks in this space. And then we're going to go inside the sunroom, and I'm going to kind of just walk you through and just kind of tell you what needed to be done to make this sunroom fit in my space because the measurements were off. But anyway, y'all, so let's go ahead and just kind of take a look at everything. I do want to show you how you can see that there's screens everywhere. This sunroom actually came with screens as well as the little window panel. And so right here, you have enough space here. And these are actually, these are the little windows that you can add to it. This is perfect for like when it gets colder. It still lets in good enough sunlight, but it's just, you know, it's really, really good for in the winter months, which I love. And I absolutely love the fact that it comes with these little holders. So it literally came with 3 of these for these little window panels. This is so perfect. And I'm going to show you guys how to install this and how to remove those little panels. Right here, you can see the difference in what it looks like when you add the little windows back to the screens. You have a lot more privacy here. You can still see out, but look at the difference between adding the little window panel versus just having the screens. So I absolutely love the fact of being able to have both. This is definitely perfect for privacy issues or whenever it gets a little bit colder outside. Another great use of these panels too is if your deck or patio space is in an area that gets full sun. These panels are fantastic at keeping the sun at bay. So this sunroom actually comes with a drainage system, and you can kind of see that here in action. This is absolutely perfect, you guys. And even though it just got through raining, and again, you can see I only have the screens here. I don't have the little windows in here because I like having a nice breeze that blows in, especially with it being so hot outside. So the screens are soaking wet, but look at here. So remember, this is the area where the sunroom meets the house. And remember, we had that like a 1.5 foot gap in between. And you can see here it's completely dried because of that little galvanized steel barrier that's on the roof. And that was something that I was so worried about, y'all. But look at that. So excited. Everything is completely bone dry. I am loving it, you guys. I am absolutely in love with this sunroom. So as far as I'm concerned, the rain came just in time. It basically was the first test to this sunroom, and y'all, it passed with all A's. Love it. So here's a look at what we added to the roof to make sure that it was waterproof from any water leakage or anything like that. So this is actually a galvanized steel step flashing. And we have one part of it in the gutter, and then the other part is resting on top of the roof. And then we use some roofing screws to screw them in, and then we sealed the screws, sealed around the screws. So that's what we use, and that's what's keeping everything nice and dry. And I want to show you what it looks like whenever you look up at the area where the sunroom is right up against the gutter. So when you look up to the top here, you can't see anything because that's where that little metal flap that I just showed you guys, that's where it angles over the gutter and then over the sunroom to prevent any rain or anything from falling through. All right, y'all, so it is the next day. Thankfully, we have a little bit of sunlight. So excited. Wanted to just kind of show you guys a quick walkthrough of everything. You guys can see here that the sunroom actually has 3 openings, 3 doors. I'm probably not going to use the one in the middle one that much, just the one on the 2 sides. But just wanted to still show you guys how many options you have for doors. So you can clearly see here. And it's just fantastic. So much light coming in here. I also want to show you right quickly as well what that flashing, that steel galvanized flashing looks like on the top of my roof. And then finally, I want to show you right quickly what that drainage system looks like during the day. And like always, we'll end the video with a beautiful nighttime view. And here's where that water was running out when it was raining. Remember this clip here? So this is on both sides of the sunroom in the front. So that's how that water is channeled. Here's what I was telling you guys earlier, how this flashing is preventing water from falling in between the sunroom and the gutter. So then that way everything stays dry. So guys, this is where I'm going to be spending most of my summer evenings completely bug-free. So y'all, let me know in the comments if you could see this beautiful, relaxing sunroom in your backyard space this summer. This is such a super and affordable way to own a sunroom. Just make sure you don't make the same mistake I did and measure correctly. And if you're interested in this sunroom, I'll have the links down in the description below. DOMI Outdoor Living is currently having their huge summer sale, so be sure to check it out if you've been thinking about adding a sunroom to your backyard space. All right, you guys, so that brings us to the end of today's video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to DOMI for sponsoring today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of the entire transformation. Can you see yourself purchasing one of these sunroom and installing it in your space? In the meantime, don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and hype this video. And I look forward to seeing you guys really soon in my next video. Bye now.